Hi everyone, Michael here. I just want to put out a disclaimer about this episode and make a full declaration of war on Epic Games because they were the reason why this entire episode was re recorded when it should have been recorded earlier this weekend and come out today. Um, so I'm going to make this sound like it's my fault, but I assure you that it's 100% Epic Games' fault. So I basically record everything all on one device, and that device has a limited amount of storage because it's a pretty old laptop. It's about 8 years old at this point. Uh, and so, what the issue that I run into is storage. And so I use an external hard drive, and then I sometimes clear out certain apps that I'm not using or whatever just to keep the storage at a healthy level. And so one of the apps I was trying to get rid of was the Epic Games launcher for Fortnite, a game I have not played in probably about 2 years. And I literally downloaded it because some friends wanted to play Fortnite one time, and then we never played Fortnite again. So that's a whole other story and a whole other can of worms to open here. But anyway, I tried to uninstall Epic Games because when I tried to record my entire fully recorded episode 40 the other day, I was not able to save it because I didn't have enough storage. And so I was trying to uninstall Epic Games as the launcher and like all the other bloatware that they have in there so they can pump fucking ads and like spam friend requests at you for like every time you open up your computer. And it said that it said something about having to restart in order to uninstall. And I kind of initially thought that meant restart the app because I was like, surely this fucking game can't completely restart my entire computer, right? And this was after a bunch of errors that came up because I had to keep closing out other things and make sure I was logged out and like closed out of the app and everything because it runs in the background against your will. And so I was kind of fed up and I was like, yeah, whatever, just restart the app. Cool, go for it. It restarted my entire laptop and wiped all of my data and wiped out the entire episode 40 file, which took a lot of time to record and a lot of vocal power. So I'm going to hope that going forward here, I'm going to have enough vocal power to kind of recreate it to the best of my ability because every single bit of audio data was lost thanks to motherfucking Epic Games. Anyway, here's the episode. So, want to know about Odysseus? Was he a beggar? Was he a soldier? Was he my dad? Was he your dad? Was he a bald guy? Did he skip leg day? Was he a leg day aficionado? What about my brother Agamemnon? What was Agamemnon's relationship to Odysseus, you might ask? Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Odysseus. Let me tell you something. Hey, let me tell you something. Welcome back to On to the Next Thing. I'm Michael, your host, and this is episode 40. Today's date is August 17th, 2026. And today we're going to cover two exciting topics that I'm sure everyone's been looking forward to. First one is going to be the official review of the 2026 Christopher Nolan adaptation, The Odyssey. And then we're going to go through the top 4 most evil credit cards that I am qualified to own. But before we do that, we got to get into the bird news. Okay, got to pull up the headlines from last time. I mean, not last time. Only time. This is the only time this has been recorded. This is a raw, uncut recording. What are we looking at? You're supposed to show me the bird news. Did I close out all of my bird news headlines? I think I did. Okay. All the way at the bottom, maybe? Bagel Boss. I don't care about the Bagel Boss. I Googled Bagel Boss recently because I was listening to some old episode of another podcast and I they were talking about the bagel boss, like the little short dude in New York who yells about women all day in front of the I guess the cafe known as the Bagel Boss. And yeah, so I looked him up to see what he was doing. I guess he's still kind of out there. Um, so I have completely neutral feelings about that. Fine. All right, we're gonna look up new bird news here. Bird news. It's too bad because I had good headlines last time. I mean, the only time earlier today, I had good headlines. Bird flu, bird bath, animal rescue. Okay, you can do this one. Animal rescue looks for homes for birds seized from exotic bird shop. Let's go right into that. This is from WBAL TV, which I believe is in, I don't know, Maryland. Okay. Hey, talking about birds. Anyway, animal rescues are working to save hundreds of birds seized from Loros exoticos in Fort Myers. Ugh. I'm not trying to learn about Brianna Ross. Brianna Ross is our author here. That it somehow auto-clicked me to her reporter bio. So that was cool. Brookville, Maryland. Animal rescues are working to save hundreds of birds seized from Loros Exoticos, Baltimore, an exotic bird shop in Highlandtown. Canine Rescue, I guess just K and the word 9. Canine Rescue, a dog rescue based in Brookville, is among the organizations assisting in the effort, taking in 109 birds from Barks during what they described as a desperate situation. Quote, "We have never seen a bird case of this level, so it was all new to us," said Amy Creel, president of Canine Rescue. Baltimore City Animal Control seized over 360 birds from the shop in late July after a 311 complaint. Animal control officers report finding unsanitary conditions and sick birds at the shop. Barks took all over I love Barks as an acronym. It's literally like the perfect acronym for a stupid Baltimore dog rescue organization. Barks took all of the birds, then called on local rescues, including Canine Rescue, for help. Our first response was, "We're a dog rescue. It's not our thing. We've never done this before." But Barks felt confident, and we did too, that we could put together a community that would be able to help, Creel said. "We put out the word. This is very vague. We can't say much yet, but we're looking for people who have experience with birds." And we got inundated with people wanting to help. I don't know exactly how vague you can get. It sounds like you're trying to get people to take care of birds. Anyway, Creel and the K9 team picked up birds from Barks along with other rescues in the National Aquarium. Quote, "You could just see that it was the community of Baltimore coming together to take care of this situation," said Emily Cavey, a volunteer with Canine Rescue who helped pick up the birds. Canine Rescue took in a wide variety of birds, but not all of them survived. Creel said about 10 birds died early on due to their poor condition. "We did have some loss. Many were stressed and behaving in a way that indicated they were not well, so we did lose some, but we were able to save many," Creel said. Creel credits the community for stepping up in the urgent situation, donating supplies and offering care for the birds. "We had put this together in a number of hours, so to have so many people reach out and say, 'How can I help?' really made us see the good in people and how amazing the community is," Creel said. Almost all of the birds taken in by Canine Rescue have been adopted, but 17 birds, 3 cockatiels, and 14 parakeets still need homes, including 2 baby parakeets. For more information on how to adopt them, click here. Well, this is if I can get this episode out fast enough, I'll post that link, but I assume people are going to scoop up those baby parakeets. All right, that's like good bird news to start the bird news. Let's see if we can find one more half-decent article. Villa Zoo, plane lands safely. Oh my god, another bird strike. There was one literally 3 days ago about a bird strike. Ornithologist, new species. Oh, or new species of bird? Okay. Bird strikes? All right, I got to replace another bird strike. There was 3 days ago, there was a different bird strike story. Absolutely insane. The birds are doing a number on those fucking airline companies. And so I'm happy about that as long as it doesn't go and kill people for no reason, you know? And birds. Okay, this is from Optimum News 12 in Westchester, which I believe is in England. A plane has landed safely after a reported bird strike at Westchester County Airport Saturday morning, according to the Westchester County Police Department. Police received a 911 call. Okay, I guess it's not in England. I guess it's Westchester, Pennsylvania or something. Doesn't matter. Call at 6 a.m. for a report of a bird strike on takeoff with 59 people on board. News 12 reached out to Westchester County. Is that also Maryland? That's crazy. For more information on the incident, but claimed they did not have any information on files as of midday Sunday. Authorities could not confirm the type of aircraft or airline at this time. Police say the plane landed safely back at the airport without incident. It is unclear if anyone was injured. Westchester. Where is Westchester? That's crazy. I hate when they don't tell you like what state or province that like their stupid ass town is set in. Like, I don't care if you're Westchester's particular news station, all right? Tell me where Westchester is. You're on the internet, all right? You gotta fucking act like, you know, be part of the freaking world, Westchester. Westchester. All right, there's one other one. I'll go back to this one because this one was from the other day, and I really liked it. A bird nest, a city fine, and a federal law. San Antonio homeowner caught in the middle. A KSAT phone call to code enforcement may have been the turning point. This is from ksat.com, which I guess is based in San Antonio. There's Hunter King, reporter, Richard Baltazar, video editor, Maria Wentz, news intern, and Asian Burmia, photojournalist. All contributed to this article. A San Antonio homeowner says the city gave him an impossible choice: pay a $300 fine for not trimming a tree branch or risk violating a federal law that protects migratory birds. Rob Streeper, who has lived his Northwest Side home for 18 years, received a notice of violation from San Antonio code enforcement in June for a low-hanging branch extending over a public sidewalk. But Streeper said he had a reason he couldn't comply. A bird was nesting in that branch. After contacting U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Streeper said an agent told him that removing the branch would be a violation of the Migratory Bird Treaty Act of 1918, federal law that protects most native bird species in the United States. Violations of the act can carry penalties of up to 6 months in prison and fines of up to $15,000, which, frankly, in personal opinion, that shit's got to be updated. All right, $15,000. Like I'm spending almost twice that on a car. Okay, not currently, but I could if I wanted to. Streeper said he explained the conflicts to a code enforcement officer who he said acknowledged the issue and appeared to drop the matter. Then on August 3rd, Streeper came home to find a $300 citation taped to his front door. No phone call, no warning. Quote, they gave us this on August 3rd after we got the initial notice of violation on June 13th, Streeper said. Nobody talked to us. They just taped it to the door. Streeper said he later learned that a code enforcement officer that the department was under pressure from a neighbor who was calling every day to complain about the branch. What a fucking pain in the ass. Can we just like throw that person in jail just for being annoying? Like, you know, you got to be part of the community, but like if you're policing your neighbors that hard, like you gotta just go in a quiet box for a little while, okay? That's what I'm saying here. As of Friday morning, Streeper said his District 7 council representative confirmed code enforcement plan to move forward with the citation. That changed about an hour after KSAT called code enforcement to ask questions and request an interview. And this is hilarious because KSAT, I'd never heard of it before. I assume it's just a local station, but I guess they got some clout. Or literally just like San Antonio code enforcement didn't really want this shit to just be worse than it was. Or it was just like some dickhead middle management. Because listen to this part. At 10:59 a.m. Friday, 1 minute before a KSAT 12 crew arrived at Streeper's home, he received a phone call from Michael Oresti, a development services manager within the city. The issue regarding the tree branch, and migratory bird has reached my level, Oresti said in the recorded call. I've gone ahead and given direction to my staff to give an exception until late September and to go ahead and dismiss the ticket. Oresti said the officer who issued the citation had not yet turned it into municipal court and was directed to destroy it. He added the department would research the migratory bird issue and use the findings to update officer training. Quote, we'll go ahead and add that to whatever information we do find out to the training for the officers so they know, Oresti said. The city will revisit the case on September 26. Streeper said he has no objection to cutting the branch once he's confident nesting season is over. Quote, when we were confident the nest isn't in use and the nesting season is over, we have no problem with cutting the branch, he said. But before we're confident it's done, I'm not willing to incur the risk of being cited for violating federal law. Streeper says he feels vindicated, but not entirely at ease. Quote, it took telling the code compliance people that you guys were involved for them to finally back off, he said. KSAT reached out to San Antonio code enforcement for an on-camera response. They declined. Lemme, fuck you, San Antonio code enforcement. This guy suck. I don't even know what that is. I guess it's like it's got to be some weird like citywide HOA type thing. So that sounds more like HOA crap to be like, trim that tree branch. Kill that bird, trim that tree branch. I don't get it, man. Anyway, San Antonio sucks. Charles Barkley was right about that place. Don't go there. Okay. All right. On to our main topics. All right. We'll start out with a quick review of the 2026 epic film by Christopher Nolan, The Odyssey. My voice is shot. This is so bad. Okay. Let's get into it. All right. The Odyssey, 2026 epic historical action fantasy film, is written and directed by Christopher Nolan, which initially I was worried about because Nolan's main weakness is the writing. And anytime they give him the script, it can be a real coin flip about whether it's going to be like, quirky but like catchy, or like weird and off-putting and annoying and long-winded, because he can definitely do both. Christopher Nolan as a director, my opinion has changed about him for over time. When I was a kid, I was like, wow, and I didn't know anything about any other like experimental filmmakers, or like even like the famous ones who are known for having certain styles. Like when I was a kid, I literally only knew like two filmmakers, and that was Steven Spielberg and Christopher Nolan. And I thought Christopher Nolan was the fucking best director of all time when I watched The Dark Knight. And then that opinion of him was continually supported by watching Interstellar, but was also lowered by watching The Dark Knight Rises, which is a big bloated piece of shit, despite the star power of, what's his name? God damn it! I literally just had Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy has been going, brrr, that version of Bane that everyone loves doing, and everyone still did. They were even doing it in that Harley Quinn show for a while, and that show started in 2022 and ended like last year, and people were still doing the Bane voice. Everyone loves Bane voice. It's so funny. Oh, they will be looking for one body in the wreckage. Yeah, all right. But yeah, I mean, despite all that, it wasn't very good, and I was like, okay, maybe Christopher Nolan's kind of a cheeseball and shouldn't be allowed to run wild with his scripts. Then he did some good films too. I mean, I didn't love Oppenheimer, to be honest. I thought it was kind of boring. It was his probably his second attempt at a historical work. The first was Dunkirk, which was pretty good. I actually really liked Dunkirk. Oppenheimer, I was like, oh my god. Like, interpersonal drama is not really Christopher Nolan's strong suit, I think. He's definitely more of like a spectacle and like big human issues and like big human philosophical issues, but then just like dumbed down into like just like kind of a winding action movie plot, That's kind of what he's become known for. Like Inception, it's like, oh man, what really is consciousness and the mind and memory and things like that. And then just kind of brought down into a concept that's a little confusing, like if you don't pay attention to what they're saying in the movie. But if you're paying attention to the movie, literally half the dialogue is exposition. Like, all you have to do in Christopher Nolan movies to understand his movies is just listen to what's going on. And the characters will explain it to you like you're a dum-dum. You watch the film and information is revealed. Crazy stuff, I know. But with the Odyssey, I wasn't too worried about that because I already know the story of the Odyssey. I had to read like an abridged version in middle school or high school or something. And so it's like I already knew all the beats, and I was like, all right, well, I already know this, but everyone seems to be super hyped about it, and so it's like I'll go watch it. Initially, I was actually, I was seeing like a lot of like doom and gloom, mostly from nerds who watched the trailer and were like, this is too extravagant and it's too modernized. He's having the people speak in American accents, and Travis Scott is there, and Elliot Page is in it. And we hate Elliot Page. Elliot Page shouldn't be in anything. Oh. And there was a lot of that. And for a while there was like, I saw like something that it was probably a joke, but it was like a weird rumor that that like the whole soundtrack for the movie was going to be like an ancient Greekified Travis Scott album. And I don't know why I thought that was real, but I literally thought it was real up until like I was watching the movie. And so like I was kind of like not super jazzed about it. I was like, whatever, I've already seen it. Christopher Nolan, he does his blah, he loves his blah sounds, and he loves his unsubtle dialogue, and he loves his unsubtle plots, and he's just gonna do his thing. But you know, I decided to go to it because it seemed like it was a big event, and I ended up having to see it at 10:30 in the morning because every single theater in my area was sold out for the rest of the entire weekend. So I saw it on like 10:30 in the morning on like a Sunday, I think. And yeah, and so because it was in the morning, and I'd had a bunch of iced coffee and stuff, and like yeah, just like black cold brew iced coffee. And I drank that before starting the movie. I drank all of it. And I sat down, and you know, I don't know how to stress this enough that this is important, but I did not get out of my seat to take a pee one single time. And like, which is crazy because I'll go and take a piss in the middle of a 90-minute movie. Like, I don't care. Usually I can find a slow spot and I'll start noticing like how my body is feeling or whatever, and I will find a slow spot in a movie and I will go and take a piss when no one else is in the bathroom, and it's like, it's great. It's like I'm at my own home movie theater. And then I'll usually miss like part of the movie and be like, shit, now I'm gonna have to rewatch it on streaming because I missed that fucking part. Ugh. But yeah, I did not get up throughout this entire 3.5 hour movie. It was just that engaging. And I guess, honestly, that's what Christopher Nolan really is best at. He's good at getting asses in seats and making you want to watch the film, because the visuals are truly, yeah, really astonishing stuff. I mean, you know, everyone hates like hearing these, this director, he did all of this practical effects, like they built a real ship and sailed around on a ship to make this movie, and you're like, oh my god, how ridiculous and pretentious and overblown. But then you see it and you're like, oh shit, I see why he did this. And you're just like, oh, the whole thing is shot in IMAX. And it's like, why? That sounds so wasteful. And then you see it and you're like, oh shit, I see why he shot the whole thing in IMAX. It looks crazy in a good way. Initially, the first 10 minutes were a little bit choppy for me because I was trying to get used to like all the characters just speaking. Basically, they were saying like certain lines and talking about like ancient things and sort of speaking in like kind of a, like this is like ancient times type of way. But also they would say different lines in just pure American accents and just modern American cadence. And it was a little off-putting initially, especially Tom Holland. Like in the first act, I thought he was like one of the weaker actors in the cast, because he would just be like, tell me about my dad. Can you tell me about my dad? And it's like, okay, you're a 30-year-old man. I don't believe that you're like a 17-year-old. All right. I'm sorry. It just doesn't, I just don't feel that way about you. But yeah, once you actually started seeing stuff from Odysseus's point of view, and then once the plot involving all the suitors in Odysseus's I guess temporarily vacant palace is once that plot kind of develops more, you're just like, I was just glued to my seat. I could not look away. I wanted to see what was happening. I wanted to see what every shot looked like. I wanted to see what happened to Odysseus and his crew, even though I already kind of knew. I wanted to see like the plot with the suitors, one of which is Robert Pattinson, Of course, bringing his A game as he's done to pretty much all his movies over the past 5 years, which is like, hey, good for him. I'm glad he's shown people that he's actually a fucking amazing actor. And it's all just so riveting. It's so engaging and entertaining that you're gonna ignore the stupid stuff. You're gonna ignore the unsubtle themes where where it'll be like, it's Matt Damon as Odysseus, and he's like, this age of bronze is coming to an end. Our civilization is crumbling. Hey, audience, civilization crumbling. Western civilization crumbling. The Bronze Age collapse. The collapse of our age of bronze. And it's like, oh my God, I get it. It's the collapse of the Bronze Age, a real historical period. And you're analoging it with like modern civilizations. Okay? And then the point in the movie is just to, I don't know, just be fucking better to people. All right. You got to be better. You got to have like decency and like, laws and guidelines to have people be decent to one another or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like it hits you over the head with a hammer about it. So you're like, okay, I fucking get it. Christopher Nolan. All right. Now let me watch Odysseus kick ass. Okay. And, it's a whole ensemble cast thing, so that annoys some people sometimes, where Christopher Nolan just invites everybody who's at all famous in Hollywood. I looked at it at one point. I looked at the cast, and every single person in the cast list has a Wikipedia page, except for like 3 random dudes who were like the suitors, or like who were just like a couple of the suitors, like, oh no, a couple of people didn't have Wikipedia pages. Stephen Murphy, Anthony Molinari, and Ian Castleberry. And I'm pretty sure I've seen Ian Castleberry in another fucking movie, so it's not like he's not a famous person. But yeah, it's one of those where even the smallest role has a huge actor's name next to it. And some people find that annoying because it's like, hey, why, you could always hire other actors that would be, perfect for the role. You can look a little bit deeper into and with your talent scouts and find people who would actually be like really perfect for the role. But that doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter that John Bernthal is John Bernthal is Menelaus, who's the brother of Agamemnon, aura farming Benny Safdie. But yeah, John Bernthal, even though he's going like, hey, even though he's just speaking in his regular ass Maryland accents, hey, let me tell you something. Look at my wife. This is Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships. Telemachus, let me tell you about your father. Odysseus was a man. He was a soldier. Now he's a beggar. Now he's a soldier. And it's like, yeah, it's like that, but you don't even care. You're like listening to him and it's like, oh, they're coming out of the woods, and you're like, you don't even give a shit, because it's just such an engaging plot. And which I guess brings you to the second major skill of Christopher Nolan, which is using his many cuts in the film to move the plot along. It's a cheap way it's like, kind of a cheapening way to do it, where it's like, oh, there's all these cuts and stuff. Why does he cut it up so much? Why can't he just do like a long, interesting shot instead of doing all these cuts? Well, I mean, number one, that's just how he does it. That's how he makes things appear to move fast. He's one of the best at that. Keeping the plot moving by keeping the cuts going. The other thing is the IMAX camera can only film for like 4 minutes at a time or something like that. So no scene was able to be longer than 4 minutes anyway, because he was filming even the frickin' dialogue scenes in IMAX, which once again, you might say, hey, that's stupid and pretentious, whatever. But I don't even care. I don't even care that it's a stupid, pretentious, and bloated way to make this movie. It needed that. It's one of those Hollywood projects that it needs $300 million to just make this gigantic, wasteful, but just otherwise just beautiful and extravagant movie. Hey, Why are you yapping? Go ahead, say something else. Say something. Of course, now he doesn't want to talk. Oh, now he's coming up. Okay. Oh, never mind. He's going. Oh, he's gonna come up at some point. He's gonna piss me off. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, the soundtrack is good. I think he got a pretty certainly a competent composer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ludwig Göransson. He's basically like the new uh fuck. Who's the other guy? God, I'm so stupid. Inception. Hang on. Quickly Google Inception. No, you stupid ass. Hans Zimmer. Yeah, Ludwig Göransson. He's basically like the new Hans Zimmer at this point. It's like it's so funny. Like directors who like using Hans Zimmer, it's like they just picked it up right where they left off. Like you don't even have to worry about it because you have a new like Northern European guy to make epic music scores. Because I believe he made stuff already. Yeah, he started out with smaller movies, but he's been making like Black Panther, Oppenheimer. Yeah, so he's already up there. He's already super famous. He's only like 30 something, I think. 40. He's 41, which is not that old for a composer. So yeah, he's like the new Hans Zimmer. He's doing his thing. Music works. The ocean scenes are insane to watch, but you know, even the scenes inside the palace or whatever, or just on the countryside, also look amazing. Everyone acts their best for the most part. I did think Tom Holland was still a little bit weak, but he picks it up in the second and third act, and by that time I'm sold on Telemachus. All right, first act not so sold on Telemachus. Second and third definitely sold on Telemachus. And pretty much everyone else does a great job in their own way. Not everyone's perfect for their role, just because Christopher Nolan loves an ensemble cast. He doesn't care about like making, perfect casting decisions. He wants his famous people in it. That's fine. It's stupid, but it's fine. I guess maybe that's a good motto for Christopher Nolan movies, especially nowadays. It's stupid, but it's fine. Because it's just good. He knows what his style is. He knows how to do his stuff. All right. And it really works for this. And yeah, honestly, if it would be a 10 out of 10 movie for me if I did a point system like that. But, I don't like doing point systems because I haven't seen every freaking movie in existence. So I'm not going to be like, oh, Odysseus was a 10 out of 10. And then someone being like, oh, what about Citizen Kane? And I'll be like, shit, I haven't fucking seen that old piece of shit movie. Fuck you. So, yeah. But, I mean, honestly, incredible experience. See it on the biggest screen that you can. I know directors like Christopher Nolan love to be like, oh, freaking streaming is ruining the movies. You can't watch this movie on your phone. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, you can watch it on your phone if you fucking want to, but I mean, this is one where it was really cool to see it in theaters. Not even an IMAX theater, just a regular theater. Or probably it would also look good on a really big TV, though. So at least if you're going to watch it, put it on a big-ass TV. All right? Yeah, definitely recommend the Odyssey. As much as I was reluctant to going into it. But, yeah. Hate to say it, Christopher Nolan did good. Just you just ignore the stupid parts, especially on the first watch through. You're gonna ignore a lot of the stupid stuff, and you're just gonna get drawn into the world, and it'll be a good time probably, unless you hate unless you hate the piece of art that is basically the origin for like half of pop culture and culture in general in the modern era. So I mean, I guess if you hate like half of all of culture in the Western sphere, then maybe you won't like it, but you're probably going to like it. All right. Let's go to our second topic here. These are the top 4 most evil credit cards that I'm qualified for this year. So I figured this out by looking on, oh my god, fucking gigantic fucking truck going outside my window. Thanks. So I figured this out by through like a credit advisement thing. You know, you probably know it, but um, it's like, yeah, it's one of those companies to help you with your taxes or your credit card. I used it back when I was like 17, and then they keep just sending me emails about credit cards that I'm qualified for. And so, yeah, I looked through it and I looked at some of the credit cards that, that I was qualified for because I was looking for a new credit card for a little bit. And I was looking at them and I was like, well, let me Google some of these banks and see which ones are, what would be the most, if I was going to go buy credit cards morally, what's the most moral credit card that I could accept? And in that way, I was able to figure out, I was able to build a little ranking of which ones are the most evil. So starting at number 4, with 4 being least evil, 1 being most evil, we have American Express. And so I ranked these by checking basically looking at the size and level of detail on their controversy section on Wikipedia. American Express is, to me, the least evil, just based on this metric, because it doesn't have a controversy section. However, in its history, it does mention that it was basically like a freight/railroad company, so that automatically means they did at least a little bit of evil shit. Like this, an advert from 1890 featuring a watchdog on an American Express shipping trunk. So they could sick their dogs on hobos. Great stuff. Bit of an extrapolation, 100% alleged, but they definitely did that. But the other thing they did is that they were just kind of like like a freight and shipping company. And then they ended their railroad business in 1918 because they got trust busted by big man Teddy Roosevelt. And then eventually they had to just do like kind of other shipping, I guess, from just like horses and trucks, I suppose. And but yeah, they got borderline liquidated for a little bit. They tried to do some other railroad stuff, but it was tough. So they decided that they wanted to make a travel credit card known as a charge card back in the day, and they started doing that in the 50s. However, they only decided to become like a actual bank, quote unquote bank company, right around the time of the 2008 financial crisis, and they changed their status to being a banking company just in time so that they could get the government assistance bailouts that banks were getting during that time, I guess, to keep this beautiful economy we have floating on. So that's good. It's kind of a run-of-the-mill thing for a company like this to do, but they didn't really have that many other controversies, so I guess good for them. I don't know. All right, number 3 is Capital One. So they had a controversy section, but it was just called legal actions. And so I can read off some of the headlines here. Fines for misleading customers to pay extra for services. So basically shit, hang on, I can't read. Basically that asked customers to pay extra for like protection or like credit monitoring, stuff like that, which is scummy. Next one, automated dialing to customers' phones, which is like they basically just did like sales call shit, which is like, it's so annoying today, but it'd be even worse just to have it from like a company where you're already a customer and they're just trying to constantly sell you shit. And it's like, yeah, 75 million, bizarre. Like, I don't even know why they were doing it. And it's like they would even do it like international telephone calls, which charge you more money, which is fucking crazy. So glad they stopped doing that in the mid 2010s. They also had a 2019 data breach which is great. They just because I guess they just someone at the company like leaked it via Amazon Web Services, which is fucking awesome. So cool. Understatement of losses, and so they understated their loan losses during the 2008 financial crisis, and so I guess they weren't actually required to address the allegations. They just paid to settle the claims. So that's cool. Bank fraud, money laundering, possible racketeering. Okay, cool stuff. Yeah, money laundering through like yeah, there's a lot of money laundering on in these Wikipedia articles. I guess this was allegedly money laundering just for like various shady customers of theirs. And then finally, alleged misleading interest rates on savings accounts. And so basically they were offering they were offering this one is the funniest one. They were offering savings accounts with higher interest yields, but they weren't telling their existing customers. So they just let people use like their same shitty savings accounts while they were offering like better ones, but they just wouldn't send any notification to their customers. They were like, "Oh, well, I guess we aren't allowed to just cold call people anymore, so no reason for them to know about our new high yield savings account, right?" Classic Capital One, allegedly. Or possibly not allegedly. Some of this stuff is alleged, some of this stuff isn't, but in order to not get my entire podcast shut down, I'm going to just say allegedly for all of them. All right. Number 2, Citibank. So cool. Citibank. It's been around for 200 years. It was founded June 16th, 1812 as Citibank of New York. And yeah, I guess they hardly even had any like major mergers. I guess they would just eat other companies, and then they became like Citigroup. Because I guess they did get a little bit fucked by the 07, 08 financial crisis. But they have a full-on controversy section. Cool. List off the headlines here. Alleged money laundering by Raul Salinas. And I guess Raul Salinas was like, he's the brother of the former president of Mexico. And so it's like, oh, sneaky money laundering stuff. Cool. Yakuza links. Crazy. Citibank has been punished by the Japanese Financial Services Agency twice in 04 and 09 for aiding and abetting money laundering by Yakuza members. There was no punishment from the U.S. side. Wow. What a wonder there. Funding of the Dakota Access Pipeline, so that's cool for the big fossil fuel pipeline going across North Dakota and running through water supplies and sacred indigenous lands. Cool stuff. LIBOR index statement. I don't know what the fuck that is. Preceded other banks involved in the LIBOR scandal. I guess it was like London-based like financial manipulation. And so I guess they were just like manipulating their rates and shit like that for like loans and that sort of thing. And then finally, their security unit in 2026 was established allegedly with the intention to protect employees, but was actually, I guess, being used to like to like punish employees who reported malfeasance. And so I guess they just have the security team to like tell on employees when they're like complaining about Citibank or like whistleblowers and things like that. Very cool stuff. Sponsorships. Yeah, I'm sure that they sponsor a lot of sports and just like anything. They sponsor sports. They sponsor like fucking buildings and shit. Great stuff. And finally, our number 1 was I guess I didn't name the cards. The one was American Express. The other one's just Capital One fucking super interest card or whatever. Then the Citibank was like the Citibank everyday motherfucker card. And then finally number 1, we have the Chase Freedom card from JP Morgan Chase. And JP Morgan Chase has a fucking insane controversy section. Let's go. It's history, leadership. Wait, what was it again? Ooh. History, lawsuits, and legal settlements by years. Holy fuck. Wait a minute, hang on. So we got history. Bank one. Recent history. All right, no, hang on. They had stuff that I wanted to look at here. Did they get rid of it? There's no way that they got rid of it. Okay, come on. Art collection, ownership, leadership. Well, they had climate change stuff because obviously, so they were out there investing in fossil fuels for a while. But all right, let's go back here a little bit. So they've been around like almost 300 years, I think, or founded. Yeah, predecessors. Yeah, Manhattan Bank, 1799. Yeah, so basically like um, J.P. Morgan, Chase Bank, current subsidiaries. Did I not like? Fuck. Stupid motherfuckers. J.P. Morgan and Company. I think no CEOs. Glass-Steagall Act. What the fuck? I swear I had a whole thing here where it was like they were literally known for like helping the Nazis launder money through American banks. Maybe it was a different one. Hang on, I gotta go back for a second. They got bombed one time. That's very sad. That's not funny. Lawsuits. Yeah, but they have years of lawsuits. Like 2001, they had a lawsuit for financing Enron. 2002, they had other fines for other stuff. Underwrite, WorldCom, uh, also did that with Citigroup. 2008, Truth in Lending, basically lying to their customers about loan stuff. Fuck. I really wanted to find the other shit. Hang on. Employees. Oh shit. See ya. Hang on. I gotta pause this for a second. Oh shit. Okay. All right. I finally found the right article. It wasn't for J.P. Morgan Chase, the conglomerate. It was specifically for their subsidiary, Chase Bank, which, as a bank, was founded under Manhattan Bank 226 years ago, which is they're by far the oldest and nastiest. Because let's go through their controversy section. Starting back, who knows what they were doing before in the 1800s when there was no fucking laws whatsoever. But their controversies goes, the other ones went back to like 1988. These guys go back to World War II. Purchase of Nazi Germany's Reichsmarks, or Reichsmarks. Yeah, so basically they were like doing money laundering for the Third Reich during World War II, up through World War II, and these were discovered by the FBI, but basically they were never federally prosecuted because they basically, because basically Chase Bank was gonna reveal the government's like sources and methods. And like basically this would have caused a massive security breach and like would have threatened the intelligence. And so they basically just completely fucking dropped it. Crazy. And I think that probably, honestly, this case probably just kind of sets the stage for like the rest of the country to today, because the fact that they could do that is fucking scary. That they could just be like, hey, we'll just reveal all your secrets in court. And you guys will be fucked if you try and prosecute us for helping the Nazis launder money. So that's cool. So that's literally the first one there, right? And next headline here: refusal to release funds belonging to Jews in occupied France. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Great stuff. Yeah. Yep, they wouldn't release the funds from the Vichy government, so they basically helped move the Nazis' social policies along. Cool stuff. Related legal action. So they finally they got hit with a lawsuit by like some Jewish organizations, and basically determined that Chase owed them a sum that was only under $1 million assets. Because I guess they were like, oh no, it's not interest, no interest involved, and I guess it was basically just like you got to pay a symbolically important payout, which is like, okay, whatever. So basically nothing, right? Basically nothing. And then and they finally publicly acknowledged it in the year 2000. The 2010s and 2020s, they had to pay back 18 billion in fines from 2011 to 2013, and these are mostly just because of like just for a variety of violations. And it was enough where they just had to list them with bullet points. These included misleading investors, engaging in fictitious trades, which is like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Fictitious trades. Aided different dictatorships, cool stuff. 32,000 ounces of gold bullion into Iranian bank. And so I'm sure that's come back to bite someone in the ass somewhere along the line. Collected in legal flood insurance commissions, which is wrongly foreclosed on soldiers, charged veterans hidden fees for refinancing, violated the Federal Trade Commission Act by making false statements to people seeking auto loans, illegally increased their collection of overdraft fees by processing large transactions before smaller ones, helped drive Jefferson County, Alabama into bankruptcy by switching its fixed rate debt to variable. Don't know what that means, but they bankrupted an Alabama county. Violated antitrust provisions of the Sherman Act related to bid rigging. Great. And then stole and auctioned items from deposit boxes of private individuals and governments. just straight up stealing shit out of the deposit box, being like, no, they haven't notified us about this in a while. And then just fucking selling it. That is crazy. I'm so glad I didn't get a fucking Chase Freedom card. Targeted account closures. I guess they would just like, yeah, they were basically like closing the accounts of like legal sex workers, like I guess like escorts and like early OnlyFans people, and like citing morality clause in their account. And so that was a lawsuit. They also like would close accounts on medical marijuana and any that are gun related, quote unquote. They also did it for condoms and like basically anything that's not like totally buttoned up like classy shit. They would just kind of close accounts at random, or not at random, targeted. Cool stuff. Arbitrarily targeting personal accounts. So I guess it's like, I guess they're really, because they were also, I guess, targeting that Enrique Tarrio guy. And so I guess it's literally anything that could possibly like smudge their reputation as being like the fucking classiest Manhattan bank ever, which is like, I don't know. They're just fucking crazy. If you work at JP Morgan Chase, you're a fucking crazy person. I'm sorry. You're fucked. You're fucked in the head. Dakota Access Pipeline again. Burr, 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 burr. Love that oil. Drill, baby, drill. Funded that. Did like lobbying for that. Parental leave policy. Basically they weren't giving men child leave policy, which is cool. Fossil fuel investment. Yeah, high rate of investment in various fossil fuel industries. Cool stuff. $75 billion in more. Okay, they invest 75. Okay. They invest $75 billion in coal, oil, and gas, I guess, per year. I don't know. I'd have to take a look at that fucking that article. Unequal lending practices, classic. Yep. Loaned 41 more times in Chicago's white neighborhoods than in black neighborhoods. Cool. $800 million in like legal damages and stuff. Cool. Facilitation of sex trafficking. Awesome. I guess because they facilitated Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking network. Very cool stuff, JP Morgan. And then finally, most horrific of all, the ATM glitch incident, which I guess I'll let people withdraw money using fraudulent checks. So yeah, that ended with a little bit of a whimper there, but by far, just like the oldest, it's like the fucking, it's like how with like dragons, like the oldest dragon is always just the biggest and meanest and nastiest. And that to me is allegedly what Chase Bank and JP Morgan Chase is it's been around for fucking forever. It's been around basically as long as the country, and they just been fucking shit up and taking people's money and like auctioning their deposit box belongings. That part's the funniest part. And like claiming like fraudulent flood insurance like commissions, which is just fucking crazy. Yeah. So that was my top 4 that I actually had access to. I'm sorry guys, I'm not, until this podcast really takes off, I'm not going to be able to afford like a black card or like a fucking super black hyper edge fucking Chase Morgan gold Illuminati card or whatever the fuck. Yeah. So but those, enough evil in those companies. All right, before we go, I'll just list off a couple of songs, or rather a couple of musical artists that I've been listening to lately. Let's run down the list here. We've got... Who do we got? Let's go to my liked songs, please. Give me my liked songs. Please. Liked songs. You motherfucker, give me my songs. Head in the ceiling. Okay. We got some crazy like psychedelic industrial artists like Happy the Clown. Got some like kind of shoegazy stuff like a band called Bardo Pond and Majesty Crush. We got more Title Fight. We have Daze, which I believe is kind of like punky or emo-ish. We have a band called Money with a song called Flacco, which I believe is like kind of more alternative. I don't quite remember. We got like kind of post-hardcore alternative metal in Flagman. And a band called Embrace, which I think is like shoegazy. And then there's And So I Watch You From Afar, which is like kind of a alternative emo-y type band. Same with Office Dog and Closeout, which I believe are all kind of alternative, maybe like math rock type of things. Going into the death metal, we have Vermicular Intubation. And then over into hip hop, we have a couple Lil Wayne songs that I remember from my childhood, and then also Old Dirty Bastard. Fuel, one of my favorite bands when I was a kid, just in my hand, like those guys that sounded like that. They were all part of like that kind of butt rock turn of the century era. And yeah, Fuel, love me some Fuel. Ben Folds 5, which I believe is from last time. So yeah, that's about who I've got going on right now. I haven't been able to add as many artists as normal because my Discover Weekly just keeps sending me dog shit screamo crap, where it's, or like just like Lil Wayne, where it's like, she left me in my house with cigarette burns out. And it's just like, God, just the worst fucking voices in the world. And so it ends up not even mattering to me like how good the other instruments are, because it's just so obnoxious. Like you have to be able to sing a little bit. You have to at least be like the Mom Jeans guy. All right? At least be like the Mom Jeans guy and have a voice that's okay and be able to do like harmonies without sounding like shit. All right? Thanks. That's my soapbox. All right, make sure to check out the podcast on YouTube and on Blue Sky and Mastodon and Instagram at OTNT Podcast. We're going to be coming to Spotify soon. I just need to set up the like middleman type thing, and yeah, I'll probably be on some other stuff, and I'll have more coming soon, hopefully, because this one came out late thanks to fucking Epic Games. I know I probably already said that as a disclaimer earlier. I probably added a disclaimer on early, but just wanted to make sure everyone knows why this was late. Not my fault. Epic Games' fault. That's why it's 2 days later than it would have been. We're going to get back on track, but then I'm going back to grad school, so I'm going to be way off track. But then after that, I'm going to get back on track. Or maybe I'll get kicked out of grad school. Who knows? Then I'll just become a full-time podcaster. Wouldn't that be a delight? All right, I'll talk to you all later. Thank you for listening. Bye.